Founder and host of the Keisha King podcast. Keisha, welcome back to Victory News.
Thanks so much for having me.
Now, you've been at the forefront of the battle for parents and students against transgender and woke ideologies. Your thoughts and reactions of Governor Youngkin's pardon of Scott Martin, whose daughter was sexually assaulted by that trans young man?
I'm grateful that Governor Youngkin pardoned Mr. Scott. And I think what he should do is, Scott, I think he should go on and sue. I think we need to start using the levers of the law and lawsuits against these rogue, radical, Marxist, communist school systems, because I agree with him where he says that they're not going to stop. They're not. This idea, this gender ideology is so entrenched in our society, and unless and until we the people start advancing forward and saying we're not going to take it and start to take the law into our own hands by using the law, of course, to take recourse, because they're not going to stop by just protests and showing up to school boards.
Okay, now a federal appeals court confirms the Biden administration sought to censor speech and deny people's First Amendment rights by suppressing information on the internet that did not agree with their views and policies. Do you believe the White House will now respect the court's ruling?
I don't. Unfortunately, I don't think that this White House or many on the left even think that the Constitution exists. You see them constantly violate the Constitution, and they'll even, they'll use the law in their hands, or they'll try to, and advance it forward and take these matters to higher courts. So I don't think that they have a respect for our country. I don't think that they have, and certainly they don't have a respect for the Constitution.
Right. Now, today is the anniversary of 9/11. Joe Biden is the first president since that day to not be attending a memorial at one of the attack sites. Instead, he will visit a U.S. military base in Alaska on his return trip from Vietnam. So, Keisha, is that a mistake, or is it just time to move on now?
No, I think it is a mistake. I think we're seeing a theme, and even what, the stories that we've been talking about in these few minutes, that the Biden administration, the White House, the left, they do not respect America. There are some things that you do want to have traditions for, and, honoring those Americans who lost their lives, that we went on to have a war about, Yes, I think he needs to go, and I think he needs to pay his respect to those Americans who lost their lives.
Now, Kamala Harris was asked on Face the Nation to address the issue of abortion in a specific manner. Here's the clip of the exchange.
What week of pregnancy should abortion access be cut off?
We need to restore the protections of Roe versus Wade.
At which week of pregnancy?
We need to put back in place the protections of Roe versus Wade.
Why do you think Harris was not giving a specific week when she believes an innocent born is human in the eyes and deserves to live? Why do you think that is?
Because, quite frankly, I think these people are wicked. I think that they will allow, as many of their supporters have done in certain states, they will allow abortion up until the moment of birth and even after. I think that she doesn't want to upset her abortion lobbyists and those who are funding her campaigns, her, Joe Biden, and all those radicals on the left. And I don't think that we'll ever see any Democrat who believes these ideas ever give a timeline on when, that's too far, because they don't believe that there is a moment that is too far. And I think we have to accept them at what they say.
Yeah, well, here's the deal. If you're dead when your heart stops, maybe you're alive when your heart starts. Just a thought.
There you go.
I'm not a doctor, but just a thought. Keisha, back to you in just a moment. Mike?
Thank you.
Greg, in a controversial move on Friday, New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham issued an emergency public health order suspending the right to carry firearms across Albuquerque and Bernalillo County for at least 30 days. The move, which also applies to concealed carry permit holders, is in response to the latest wave of gun violence. The governor decried the violence at every turn, causing New Mexicans to live in fear.
We have far too many ER gunshot visits, and we have far too many crimes involving firearms. We are suspending open and concealed carry.
Protesters gathered in Albuquerque's Old Town Plaza Sunday, blasting the governor for infringing on their Second Amendment rights.
When she was asked, will this stop criminals from committing all the crime that they're committing in Albuquerque and across New Mexico, her answer was no. And then she was asked, what happens when someone does a concealed carry in the city of Albuquerque? She said they should be arrested.
Violators of the governor's order could face civil penalties and a fine of up to $5,000, according to the governor's spokesperson. Both left and right of the political spectrum criticized the order as unconstitutional, and the move is expected to be challenged in court this week. In the meantime, 2 New Mexico Republican state representatives have called for Grisham's impeachment over the public health order.